Flogcast may occasionally contain explicit content that makes it not safe for work or for minors. It also doesn't provide an excuse to use the same words on Bay 13. Normal big footy rules still apply.
You are a coward.
You are Andrew Mackey.
You are Andrew Mackey of podcasts. And if you did your own podcast, it would just be average and terrible. But because you're with us, we've made you into this great podcaster that everybody knows. Be great.
Alright, so this is the Flogcast for round 12. The emotionally checked out Tiger from Richmond Starburns is here, and I'm joined by the Andrew Mackey of podcasts from St Kilda, Cookson.
Hello for another week of depression.
Big Footy's number one international exporter from Hawthorn Penal.
It's not the same unless you have skin in the game.
From North, we have the future owner of Big Footy, Dan.
Are we having the Dan Chainsaw Massacre?
Or did he buy a bike with his lotto winnings? I can't tell what that is.
It's a
Change
dildo.
all you morons. It's for the fucking tree from last week.
And finally, we have the head of security on the white thread from the Collingwood board, Morgan Ashley.
White power.
Can't be saying that.
I can't be saying that. You don't understand, Dan. There's been a segregation.
Goo or tears?
Yeah, I've got goo. I've got goo for me and my white power friends on the white game day thread on the Collingwood board. I've never been so thrilled to be a team board poster than I was on Sunday.
And you're a team board regular, right?
Oh yeah, I'm a team board regular. Like, they hate me. And now half of them hate me even more.
And the other half feels so conflicted.
And the other half feel conflicted because I'm head of security and they can't really diss me because otherwise they'll be in the black thread. You can't be negative in the white thread, so you have to just abide by my rules.
They hate you right down to your Joe Danaher avatar.
They hate me to my white core. Oh, poor bastards. Oh, what a hoot. I don't know whose idea it was to create a black game day thread for the negative people and for the angry melters and a white game day thread for the more level-headed humans. But it's hilarious. It's a ridiculous amount of work for no reason.
I love how the black thread, like, I really wish someone had have arced up over being labelled the black thread or being labelled the... Because you know the people who are melting would consider themselves the realists.
Yeah.
And it's just like, why are you lumping us in with the why are you calling us the pessimists sort of
yeah.
black hats?
And that's what they've been doing after the game. So they didn't have enough time to do it beforehand. So now there's like a 14-page thread on how they won. Like, not their team won.
A victory for free speech?
No, their thread won because it had more posts. That's because you're a bunch of idiot melters who, like, just write one word, like, die, and ball, and just, like, you contribute nothing.
Sack the coach.
Sack the coach. Buckley's
How original.
gone.
44 pages to 21. The free speech advocates have taken a decisive victory over the nanny state do-gooders. You are a do-gooder.
See, that's not even more. That doesn't prove our point even more. Like, of course, there's always going to be more negative than positive things to say. You stupid fucks. And it's not like we weren't critical in our thread either. Just we weren't mental about it. And every time somebody was, I would post a get out gif.
Was it only a week or two ago we were talking about team boards?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah, this is peak team board. Like,
This is brilliant.
Yeah, well,
I don't know how this
hard
gets topped. I don't know how this gets topped.
Yeah, like even the Geelong board that's had to fucking start a pledge to stop hating each other. Even they haven't had to split up the threads yet. So this is as unprecedented as Clayton Oliver.
We're just before our time. So we don't want to have to get to pledging to be nice to each other. So what we'll do is we know that we're beyond help, so we'll just split up. And we'll be side by side in other threads.
And Morgs will decide who goes where.
And I just self-proclaim myself to be in charge.
They just let you do it.
and they came along and were like, well, this wasn't what we planned, but okay. So I've got grief for the Collingwood board mods. You're doing a great job.
There was a bit more to it though. Like they were doing some work across those two threads, were they not?
Oh yeah, not only do they split up the threads, but if I deemed posts to be not compliant with my rules, and I told somebody to get out, they would move that post to the negative thread.
Oh, I can't believe that. Like, who can be fucked really following a match day thread that closely?
And mid-game, like,
Yeah.
they didn't even get to enjoy the win because they were too busy moving posts. Such a funny day. No, but well done. Collingwood board mods, I applaud you on being just ahead of the game.
Game changers.
You know what? They are what Brad Culpepper wishes he was. The game changer.
The only way I see this being topped is like if the Port Adelaide board takes the segregation thing a little too seriously and takes their white power thing a little bit too seriously and starts actually segregating people based on race or something. Because I could see that happen.
The Chinese fans have to go post in different threads. All the Chinese fans, because, you know, they're going to get 1 million of them, aren't they? So when all these Chinese pufferfish turn up, the bogan ones that sing Never Tear Us Apart are going to get angry.
Yep, they'll have a white power thread and then a Chinese thread.
Or a yellow
Either that
thread.
or like
Yellow peril thread.
the Sydney board could have like a Sydney supporters part, like Sydney based and Melbourne based. Just split them up.
Pritis lovers and Pritis haters.
It was just so enjoyable because like we won, and you just know the other thread were really unhappy that we won.
Yeah, well, that's the best part about the gloat thread about the people have spoken. Literally, the second post after that win, this is what you care about. Really, that just sums it up. It's just
So you may have had more posts, but you've lost. Like you've lost because you've missed the point.
yeah, like you know what? I hate Hardwick. I don't think he's taking us anywhere. If Hardwick wins a flag, I don't give a fuck. I'll put my hands up and say, you know what, wrong. But you know, if when you win, you get a good win. You don't care about being right.
If ever there was a time to eat some humble pie and not try and make it about yourself and gloat.
Yeah, it was probably when your team won 2.5 men down interstate. That was when you probably put your hands up and go, you know what, good win, well coached. All right, pick your battles, idiots.
Tip your hat. It's not all about you, you black threaders.
Stupid black threaders.
Black threads matter.
Threads matter. Yeah, who wants to go next? We spent 10 minutes laughing at the Collingwood board.
I'll have tears. It's not been an optimistic week in terms of players when it comes to Cookie. I was happy, this time last week. United were going to get Griezmann. Fife was coming to St Kilda. Space of 24 hours, their dreams are down the toilet. Now it's Tom Rockcliffe. Ugh, kill me now. If we get Tom Rockcliffe, I'll be fucking pissed.
They'll
you
need a
wanted
second
him.
thread on the Security board just for you.
I'll put it to you this way. There's like 5 people on the Security board who think, oh, Rockcliffe's a good player. He gets the ball a lot. It's like, what the fuck does he do with it? Look at the game.
He's a very good super coach player. He's not a very good football player, if that makes sense.
Well,
He's a stat merchant.
We've known that forever. Head of the curve.
If our grand free agent signing is Tom Rockcliffe, then we ain't winning a flag for the next 20 years. Avoid him.
20 years, you are St Kilda. Probably not due for another 20.
He is
Yeah, man,
cancer AIDS.
that's a pretty safe bet, Rockcliffe or no Rockcliffe.
I still have optimism,
Positivity.
the power of positivity, and no Rockcliffe.
Yeah, it'll be a good get for you guys.
Weren't you on board like a couple of weeks ago about getting...
Yeah, he was.
Rockcliffe?
He was.
I was not on board.
No, you
I
were.
was never on board.
I think you were.
I think we can find it. Yeah. You
I don't
you
care.
were surprisingly upbeat about it. Not Cookie was on.
Aliens took over my mind.
If you legitimately think Rockcliffe is a good player, then that's okay. We won't make fun of you.
I don't.
He'll fit in well.
I mean,
with your
if you want to
content.
give up a first round pick and next year's first round pick for him, that's okay.
No. I don't think Brisbane. I don't think he's a free agent, and I don't think Brisbane will match. They won't. They won't risk not being able to get rid of him and getting good compo.
And get picked 2.
Yeah, exactly. They could get pick 2 if they get rid of him. Whereas if Well, they could get picked 2 anyway. That could be where Hawthorn are. But no, I think they'll take the compo rather than risk Rockcliffe going, oh, they'll pay me the same to stay in Brisbane and crab it up, sure. So they'll let him go, I think. No trades. So Cookie, you won't even have a challenge on your hands.
Ugh. Just get Callie, please. Love of God.
But so why isn't Fife happening?
Because
They
he's
rule
too
themselves out.
injured to spend $1.5 million a year on.
It's all smoke and shadows behind the mirrors, though, mate.
Ross
Yeah,
Lyons ruined him.
Because I saw that in the papers over here the other day, and normally that's a pretty good sign that it's gonna happen. If the papers are saying it won't, it's like the fucking Kim Hagdorn rule or something.
Yeah, like St Kilda already ruled out of the Fife race, or was it? No, it might have been the Dusty race earlier this season. I can't keep track of who's into who, except that North's into everyone and Hawthorn think they're getting everyone.
There was some ripper trade deals on the Hawks board, like, we'll trade out 2 first-rounders for Gunston. Yeah, good luck with that, fuckers.
Penal or Dan, we got anything?
5 tiers. We've had a spat of unfortunate terrorist attacks in the UK, and it's not good. It's the world we live in, but it's made me think about the pigs responsible for this sort of thing, and they seem to be getting an easy way out when they're just shot instantly, because half of them or most of them think that they're going to some paradise world with 100 virgins and on the beach.
72, actually.
So 72. So it's made me think, well, how can we stop this in the short term and the long term? We capture them and we just torture them, I think.
We make them read
Like
the
some-
Collingwood
like
black and white threads. That's what we do.
Yeah, that. Yeah, that. We make them watch reruns of Home and Away and Survivor Australia. No.
Make them play for Fremantle.
If you're responsible
Sit
for
make
a
them catch
mass,
replacement buses filled with Chinese food.
yes, and we do some real medieval torturing shit, and I'm talking Theon Greyjoy and Ramsay Snow sort of shit, and we do that for like a year, 2 years, and then we get them on a plane and we throw them off the plane over the origin of the country they live in. No parachutes. Or we chop off their arms and we do give them a parachute. Either way, it's going to make these people think, I don't want to do this because there's a chance that I get captured and I'm going to be tortured for years on end. And I don't want to be tortured. I don't want my arms and legs chopped off. I don't want my farm parts messed up with. I don't want my eyeballs gouged out.
That's some pretty heavy tears.
Yeah, it is. It's made me think, and you've got to fight evil with evil, I think. I watched parts of this Manchester concert that they're having, where all these people are coming together and all these big acts are coming together, and they're all singing, all these harmony sort of together sort of songs.
Peace
And
a
maybe
chance.
this isn't doing. Yeah, give peace a chance. This is not going to do shit. There's going to be some other terrorist attack that's going to happen in that city or some other city. It's inevitable. So how do you stop it?
Yes, goodwill is usually not returned in kind. So, and like this is where dickhead Trudeau, who won't let me into his country, falls down as a leader, because I think he was on the record saying, if you kill the terrorists, they win. Which, no, if you let them commit terrorist acts, they win. Yeah, the whole fight hate with love thing is a bit short-sighted.
Oh, it's a fair bit of wankery, absolutely. I'm not sure what Dan's solutions. Dan's ideas.
It's the only solution, and it's
Okay,
seriously,
but then
these people-
what makes you better? What makes you better than them?
No, I'm not saying we are. I want to put a stop to terrorism, and if these people are going to think twice about what they're going to do, then let's do it. Let's just torture the shit out of these people.
Here's what
No,
we
I-
should do. We capture them. We store them away in some random desert place, and we get them to listen to Jose over and
They
over.
already
and
live
over
in
and
the
over.
desert. They already live in the desert. They got to listen to
Well, then we dump them in Geelong. Or
Moss
Adelaide.
music every day. That's probably worse than listening to Jose every day.
You could probably do it easier though if you did kill them, because some of them are Muslim.
No,
You could probably do it
that's-
easier by feeding them to the pigs, bricktop style, because pigs are filthy animals that they can't eat. So you feed them to the pigs, Errol.
No, it's too easy. You got to hang on to them for a couple of years and torture them every single day. and they're crying. They want to be killed instantly. They're crying for their mums. It's like, nah, mate, you still got another 2 or 3 years of torture left. This is what you deserve. And all your little friends back home, all your family, are going to know about this, and it's going to make them all think, nah, we're not going to do this anymore.
Nobody's gonna like you.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, or they can live with Suze for a week.
But okay, at which point are they the only ones who get this treatment?
Of
Or
course,
do
yeah.
you take it for Mr. Aaron types, Rolfs?
No, pedophiles are just
People
just
too.
horny people. They're just no. Well, do you think terrorists who are captured should be afforded the rights to fair trial and innocent until proven guilty? And
Well, I don't think proving their guilt should be that difficult, and beyond that, no, I don't.
okay,
I don't think.
Beyond that, being just shot on the spot is too easy of an out for those people. It's too easy.
Well, you've been awfully quiet.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not one that thinks we should fight fire with fire.
No.
You know what? It just sounds very black thread to me.
Yeah, I don't know what to say. I don't like Dan's idea, but at the
Yes,
same
you
time,
don't.
I understand. I
Think-
understand where the idea comes from, but I just don't know if it.
If it works, I'll be hailed as the next Mother Teresa or Gandhi or
Mother Teresa.
or Mandela or something like that. The person that stopped terrorism in this world.
I can imagine you just lining up Nobel Peace Prize, which means we'll finally find out what your face looks like, Dan. Are you
Well,
prepared to have that?
No, I'll just put a brown paper bag over my head. Well, what do you do then? What's the alternative?
I don't know, but
We're gonna have these musical concerts every time there's a bomb that goes off. We're gonna have all these.
No, I'm not saying those are a good idea either, but
We're not the SRP board.
I just don't think castrating them after you catch them is really going to do it. It seems unnecessarily bloodthirsty.
Sends a very strong message to anyone that messes with Australia, the United States, the UK, and all these other big countries around the world. You fuck with us, and we'll fuck you up.
Did anyone ever watch the Onion movie, as in the Onion News Network movie?
No.
Well, basically the premise of that film was that a bunch of terrorists take a news station hostage and threaten to blow it up. And the way they resolved that situation is by getting a bunch of Peruvians in to shoot lasers out of their eyes and therefore disarm the bombs with their lasers that they shoot out of their eyes, and B, getting Steven Seagal in to make all the terrorists from the Middle East realize that they actually love Western culture.
Fucking hell.
We don't need to resort to Dan's extreme measures. We just need to get a bunch of Peruvians in and Steven Seagal. Problem solved.
Can we,
Well,
if
we
we can't
don't-
get Steven
we
Seagal,
don't-
we can always get Chris Judd, yeah? Oh, fucking hell. I just don't know what to say about any of this.
Torture the terrorists. You know it's right. Vote for Dan.
Fucking Pauline Danson over here.
Yes, I think they get off easy, Dan, but at the same time, I just don't think any of that's going to work, and I don't think it's the right... I don't think it's the answer.
Oh, it's not the right thing to do. Poor terrorists.
No,
The
I'm
poor
not saying,
terrorists.
I'm not saying the poor
We should be
terrorists.
easy on them
I'm saying lock them in a cell forever and don't fucking
and burn the cell.
with one window in it and feed them gruel. Yeah, okay, but
Like a Supermax prison or like one of those really fucked up Russian prisons.
yeah, you don't need to cut their balls off.
Hang on.
Why not?
Here we go. How do you guys like this? Scaphism, also known as the boats, was an ancient Persian method of execution designed to inflict torturous death. The method entails trapping the victim inside 2 boats, feeding and covering them with milk and honey, and allowing them to fester and be devoured by vermin. Can we agree on that as a compromise?
No, it sounds awfully weird and gay. Honey and milk.
We can't have that.
Hey, it lathers them up. That they can think they're getting their 72 virgins, and then all of a sudden...
It sounds
their
like
dreams are
something
shattered.
you would be into. Piss off.
What, because of the milk?
No, just give me a butcher's knife and some tools and I'll do it.
Oh, I liked it better, and Dan didn't have anything for this segment.
I've just given you a blueprint to world peace, man. I mean, I thought you'd be a bit more grateful and appreciative.
Penal, what do you got?
Oh, fuck me. I was going to have some cricket goo, but gee whiz, it's hard to be upbeat after that fucking... defeatist flog bringing the negativity back. Yeah, so I've got Goo for the greatest captain in world sport. Kane Williamson, what a man, national treasure, national icon. So as you probably fucking clued on to, I'm not getting into Canada, so I'm thinking about defecting to New Zealand, and in which case, hell yes, I'm on the Kane train. Give me some of that. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. I'm so fucking, my head's muddled up after the Dan thing, but that's all I've got to say. What an icon.
And now we have a Goo or Tears segment for Plugger.
Plugger's gonna have a mate in the cricket thread.
Yeah, I know. I was liking all his posts in there. It felt weird.
I've got tears. It's also cricket related, and it's for the Australian selectors who. Oh, there's always one, isn't there? No matter what team they pick when it matters, there's always one. It's either a Marsh brother or it's fucking some other potato. And in this case, it is Moises' what the fuck has he ever done on Reeks. Now, I don't particularly care about the Champions Trophy, but that guy should never be wearing green and gold.
He's in there because he does the David Armitage to Steve Smith.
I could believe that.
Well, thank you, Australian selectors, for having him out there and bowling pies and letting my man Kane get his 100. So just a shame that the weather intervened, as it always fucking does in England.
Let's go to the recaps. Only 6 games this week. We'll begin with the closest one of them all. Look, it's hard to believe that only 10 days ago West Coast hadn't lost to an expansion club, and now they've lost 2.
Is that like a fucking ultra Coach Killers Hall of Fame, losing to them both in consecutive weeks?
Well, it's amazing, really.
It's unprecedented.
Yeah, like the flat track tag, like they flat tracked over him as was expected, and it was no surprise that they won. Now GWS gone past them, they lost to them, fair enough, but ultimately losing to the Suns, when you're considered a flat track team like West Coast who gets it done against the bad ones, doesn't against the good ones, that's a huge indictment on them, their ability to travel.
Yeah, and you just know if this had been in Subiaco, they probably would have won by 10 goals. So
Yeah.
they just really cannot travel, except for fucking Adelaide for some reason. Probably because it's a shorter flight. I don't know what their deal is, but they need to sort it out real soon, or else they're not going to make finals.
No.
West Coast aren't going to make finals.
In a year like this, if they can't beat the Suns on the road, who are they going to beat on the road? If they can't beat Hawthorn on the road, who are they going to beat?
Yeah.
Fucking Brisbane's the only team you'd mark down a win away from home against.
And I'd back Brisbane against them at home anyway. Eagles don't have the midfield pace. I mean, Mitchell's good, but he's slow as shit. Pritis good, slow as shit. And their midfield their team's just so vanilla.
It is. And look, nothing sums up West Coast on the road and just what a different team they are than that last 40 seconds.
Oh.
Like, what the fuck was that? You have Shannon Hearn. You have a kick out. You are 3 points down. What do? You kick it short 30 metres to the player, and just let the Suns keep zoning
just chip
off.
it around the back pocket when you need to win the game.
That is a team that it clearly was they were just scared to lose. They thought they had it locked up and then it was pinched and then they didn't know what to do. I don't know what else there is to say. They're just... Jack Darling sums that team up, really. He should be better than he is, but he isn't mentally weak, mentally fragile. Like, yeah,
it's just all between the ears with him. Like, I don't know how many times I've seen them just run out and be beaten before the ball is bounced at the MCG.
Yeah, and now it's catching on. Like, now they're actually believing
and now
that they
because
can't
of
win on the road.
the media has obviously grabbed onto that, called them blacktrack bullies, called them soft, and it's well and truly in their head now.
It's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
So Tom Lynch is also having a good season. He's probably in the mix for All-Australian. I know, big call there.
Yeah, brave cookie.
Speaking of fucking big Gold Coast Suns forward, I know it was kind of cute when he got drafted, but how on earth has that nickname stuck? 2 meter Peter.
Because our commentators are unoriginal.
It's a funny thing when you're in high school. Like, I could get that, but He'd be what, 21, 22 now in his third or fourth year.
Well, he's still 2 meters
Stop
tall. So what makes it different now?
Just stop.
It's less endearing when you're talking about a like proper grown footballer rather than like someone who's in high school and about to be drafted.
Need to replace his dictator. Like, call him Righty or Petey.
Yeah, what we need to do is get Roosie down to coach the Suns next
Give
year.
him some real nicknames.
That will put an end to this fucking mess.
Whitey, Gazza,
Rightsy.
Gazzy.
Lynchy,
Holy.
Maisie.
Sexy.
No.
Rosie.
Stop talking.
No, he wouldn't be Hawley. He'd be Boggy.
Oh, and who could forget? He'd break out the Jasny for real.
Oh, Dwayne Russell's already done that though, hasn't he? Let's go to Morgs' game, and it's amazing to think there was actually a game, like when you consider that the match thread was the most interesting part, but Collingwood was so brave, literally.
Shut up.
No, but you literally
Shut
were,
up.
you were brave, you won. Like winning,
So brave.
you can be brave
You
if you
beat
win, man.
Fremantle.
You're allowed to be brave if you won.
No,
Huge,
we don't be
huge.
brave anymore.
Don't be brave anymore.
No, we just win. That's it. I'm
Oh,
sick of brave.
we just win.
No, we don't want to be brave. We were brave last year, and brave got us nowhere. This year, we just want to win.
Yeah, and you were brave winners.
Yeah, and you were
Yeah.
brave. You still
No.
won.
Don't be wankers.
We're not being
Right.
wankers. It's just like you won with
Very
two
brave.
players
Complimenting your
down
team.
on one of the tougher road trips. going
It's a
around.
compliment. I'll
Yeah,
take
it
it
was
on
a-
board.
It's a very, very tough road trip. At least
Very
we didn't have
brave.
didn't have to play against the boo crowd, though. We didn't get the moral victory. We got the normal victory. It came at a cost with Elliott going down, but I think having the win itself and then the victory and all...
But apparently only the supporters in the black thread got the moral victory.
No. They got the real victory. We got the moral victory because we sit on the moral high ground that they don't have. But yeah, it was a good win. I'm not very optimistic about Queen's birthday considering Melbourne are playing their grand final, but Daniel Wells did a calf. Everybody acts surprised.
It's his other calf. He's got no calf now.
Did Elliot get injured?
Can you just can you play with our calves? Can you just get rid of his?
Yeah, I'm
Just-
not sure. Maybe we
just
can
walk
take
on your-
them out of somebody that's shit like Maynard.
Yeah.
Can you do a calf transplant? Oh,
Why not?
the people in the black thread, the only person they like is Maynard.
What's wrong with these people?
Yeah, they're idiots.
It's getting more messed up than the Geelong board by the sounds of things.
It's much worse than the Geelong board. They don't have separate threats. But look, it was a very good win. I think we had every reason not to win that game, except Fremantle aren't that good. They just
You were brave.
they were deceivingly in 5th position on the ladder. I don't know how that happened.
Can I just go to something before on that? I actually spied the ladder this week, and I compared Port Adelaide with Fremantle. They had the same amount of wins before this week, and the percentage gap was 67.
Fremantle only had a better percentage than 2 other teams, I think.
Yeah, we discussed it last week. Hawthorn, Brisbane,
Brisbane.
and someone.
Maybe Carlton. I
Carlton
don't
might
know.
be, yeah, Carlton might be the other one.
Yeah. Right, that's how terrible they are. I don't know which flog teams were losing to Fremantle, but just terrible.
I think they got found out. Collingwood had the injuries and Fremantle lost, and I think it gave a fair account of Fremantle lost one that they should have won for all the ones that they won that they shouldn't have. And it sort of evened itself out in the end, and maybe Collingwood got one where they've been unlucky a couple of times.
No, I don't. We weren't lucky to win this game. We earned this game. If we got lucky and won, then maybe that makes up for it. But we haven't had a lucky win yet. We earned.
For sure, they dominated most of the day. So, but yeah, Fremantle getting found out, I think, is more the story rather than...
A lot of teams, though, would, if you gave them up as many injuries as you did, would probably, if they were that close, would probably...
They would have
get
put
you
us
in the
away.
end. They would have got you in the
Yeah.
end. And I think that summed it up. You got a
a
team
good
that
team
couldn't
would-
do it to you the week that it
Yeah,
happened.
even when we let them get close, we still kicked away in the last quarter with no players left.
Yeah, that was the funniest
Tyson
part.
Tyson Goldsack was on the ground who couldn't lift his arm up. I think that deserves a bit of goo for
He was brave.
his effort.
Yeah.
Dan, I really don't like you taking the piss.
Don't take the piss down. To the black thread with
Sorry.
you, man.
Yeah,
I'm
Dan, you're
sorry.
going in the black thread. You're so
I'm
insincere.
going in
I'm going in the black thread. Okay.
On Queen's birthday,
Don't
we're
say
gonna
it like
on,
a South African.
on Queen's birthday we're gonna have a black and a white thread. I'm not sure
On
what
the
the
bay.
difference will be, but like one can just be the one Morgs dictates, and the other.
I'm
can be-
happy to go on the black thread.
I know
So
what we'll have. We'll have a black thread and a white thread, and not that it's got anything to do with it. But when next time Hawthorn plays Geelong, and all the shit fighters can fuck off to the black thread, and all the normal people can post in the white one. So we'll call it the poo thread, and the
Goo thread.
and the
Boo
poo
thread
thread.
and goof.
Nothing else on Collingwood, Freo.
Oh no, the Buckley haters. Like, it's so funny because the black thread are the Buckley haters too. So they couldn't celebrate the game because Buckley got another win. So all they had was the post counts.
Let's move on then. The Crows stumbled again against Geelong. Rory Sloane tagged out of it. Dangerwood were very good. Hawkins was fairly impressive, and Geelong got another win.
They did.
I've never
Yeah,
seen a team carried by so little players as this Geelong team.
It's a couple of good
Well-
players to be carried by, though. Like, seriously, when they're up and about, those two, they're a pretty tough tag team to stop. Like, you know, they're Batman and Robin-esque, aren't they, Dan?
Oh, I wouldn't go that far, but yeah.
Look, they lift some very ordinary players around them. It's got to be said. They make players like Andrew Mackie look like they're...
They do. He actually played all right.
He's played 200 wins now. That disgusts me.
Yeah, like the whole time being carried by better players around him.
But look, for all the shit about Joel Selwood that we give him for being a ducker and he speeds and all that, like... For all the shit we give Selwood, though, like, some of his acts in that game, in particular the one that resulted in the gash, which I've no idea how he got a gash that deep, but some of those acts
Oh my
where
god,
he
that
just
gash
goes
was
and
so
goes
big,
and
it was
goes.
smiling. So
Yeah.
ugly. You put some eyeballs on it, and he's got like a third. He's got a second head. Yeah, he was good. He steps up. Like, as much shit as we give him and other players from Geelong, he always steps up. He's a superstar.
Yeah, like, you can't question his bravery. He's quite brave.
No, you can't. He has legitimate brave, not the sort of bullshit brave that we label other teams when they get a surprise win. This is legitimate bravery.
Unless but it wasn't bullshit bravery when it was Collingwood, Dan.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Goldsack was pretty brave.
The fuck is this?
now?
What the hell was that?
Oh, it's meant to be a fucking Donald Duck quacking song, but obviously it wasn't loud enough.
Yeah, I thought it was quacky something. I'm thinking, what that?
That's
What were you
Joel
playing?
Selwood
What?
in a nutshell.
Oh my god.
Hawthorn supporters will give no credit.
No, because no one gives fucking Luke Hodge any credit either,
Well, that's
so
'cause
why
he's
should Selwood
bandaged
get
his head
any?
because he wants to.
Oh, you think Hodgie isn't tough?
No, he's a thug.
No, he's a thug.
He doesn't go hard at the ball. He goes hard at people's heads when they're next to goalposts.
Yep.
Like a good bloke.
The two aren't mutually exclusive, you know. That's you can do both.
No.
You can be a thug and be brave. Hodgie's not
Look,
brave.
no, you can be a thug and be brave at the same time. Like, that's clear. Like, just look at American policemen. Just fucking gunning down unarmed black teens in the street one moment. Next minute they'll dive into a river to save a drowning puppy.
Why are we so SRP this week?
Hodgie's more of a terrorist than anything else.
I'm gonna make sure I post this thread on the SRP board when the time comes.
SRP podcast.
Anything else out of Geelong, Adelaide? Like, Sloane was disappointing. Most of the Adelaide forward line was disappointing, and geez,
They just didn't really turn up.
Oh.
Walker missed some easy ones.
he
Did
was
I
bad.
do it?
Record is
Did-
getting disappointed.
Did I go over
Disappointing.
Rory last
Yeah, you
week?
gave him the kiss of death.
Oh, fuck.
Mm.
Sorry, Rory. Please forgive me.
Yeah, they've got the problems that I think a lot of people thought they were going to have before this season started. They papered over them, but they got found out by Geelong of all teams. Like, Geelong have a great midfield, Crows are a bit one-dimensional, and it showed. No matter how good your forward line is, if you're not getting good supply, you're not going to kick a winning score, and they couldn't do it. They couldn't get much out of Eddie, they couldn't get much out of Tex, and Josh Gooseman.
Bloody hell, though. Just imagine stick Dangerfield into that Crows midfield, and
Oh, yeah.
no team would get within 10 goals of them.
They'd be brilliant, and amazingly, he still might not win a flag at Geelong, but had he stayed in Adelaide, fair chance they would have, which is funny. You could end up with two semi to prelim teams, or one flag team, but yeah. Anything on the Hawkins punch?
Good call, I reckon. Like
The AFL said they're clamping down on it, and he's stupid enough to do it.
Oh, yeah. How dumb do you have to be?
you were warned.
I mean, I don't like the rule, but
Just
I
an
don't like the rule
extra
either, but-
extra weekend of zingers for Tom. That's all. He gets the bye this week, so it'll be 2 weeks off.
I got nothing else on that.
Next game.
Richmond beat North.
Oh dear. Yeah, they did.
We did, Dan. All that history accounted for nothing.
Well, it means you've had to... the only time you've beaten us recently is when we've played a VFL team or when we've had to retire 1,000 games worth of experience
Oh,
and you've
you
had to
can't
cash in
run
on
that
an
excuse
inexperienced
still.
North. Yes, I can.
Oh, only one of
No,
one of those players wasn't washed up anyway.
Who was that?
Boomer, the oldest one.
Boomer, Del Santo, Daniel
Semi.
Well.
Oh, Daniel, you didn't retire him. He left.
Well, he was kicked out nonetheless. Anyways, North were flat. Richmond were good. Fellow
Not really.
North Melbourne future superstar Dustin Martin wasn't tagged, and I think that you can read whatever you want into that.
If you were serious about getting Dustin Martin, you'd have tagged him to drop his contract.
No, I think the complete opposite. We wanted to give Dusty a good game, so Dusty, do whatever you want.
But you just pushed his value up, like...
Touch
And you
times.
just got it, and you
Kick it
just let him
50.
see what a rabble you were.
Well, no,
Net-
fucking...
Now he
Remember when North missed out on Eddie Betts because of 50k? They could miss out on Dusty because of 50k. It could be this 50k that they've just pushed his price up by.
Listen, if we can go after Kelly and Martin, we can up the offer to get Martin. Make no mistake. And Richmond won't be able to match it. And even if they can match it, no other club has ever matched a free agent offer to date.
Yeah, and the Crows would have, but for the fact that they knew why he was going. But anyway, he's not going anywhere, Dan. You're going to look
going.
really dumb at the end of the year.
No, he's coming. I mean, there were North supporters cheering every time he
I
touched
know
the ball.
how embarrassing is that going to be for them.
dear oh dear.
What else? Oh yeah, Trent Cotchin decided to play football instead of hide and seek, so that helped
He's been
Richmond.
doing that all year.
What else? Oh, that
Brownlow medalist, Trent
50
Cotchin.
metre penalty guy played well for Richmond in the forward line. He was good.
Yeah,
He
what a
kicked
hack
it off
Robert
the
Tarrant
box.
is. What a hack.
Did Prestia play well, Starburns?
Yeah, his first good game
He
for the
did
club
too.
that
He
wasn't
played his
that-
good game for the year.
first good game for the club that wasn't against a non-AFL standard opponent.
Oh. So all the Richmond players played well, and the North players were.
No,
They're
we
woeful
we
playing
had a
football
few
too.
down, but which was interesting. It was good that we without some.
As Smasher would say, you played your grand final, Starburns.
Trust
How
me,
the
we
hell
had
did
nothing
Sean
else.
Atley kick 2 goals?
I have
Oh, well,
no idea.
By accident, judging by the rest of his
By
kicks.
accident.
Yeah, some of his skill errors
Yep.
were disgraceful. Waits miss was hilarious with the dribble kick. Why didn't Jack Zeeble play?
Oh, he had an okayish game, I suppose.
Did he do anything? Seriously.
Well,
he
if
popped
you-
up in
if
the
your
last
opposition-
he popped up in the last quarter. I went, that's right, Zeebel's North's captain and he's not out suspended.
Has the ball throughout most of the game, and you're chasing all the time. I mean, you're not going to have the ball as much as you usually would. I mean, it's,
As he usually would. He's a hugely disappointing footballer. It's not
You
just this
reckon?
week. Oh yeah. He for a guy drafted as he is who shows glimpses of it as he does. He clearly doesn't do it consistently enough or damage enough.
nah, I don't really agree with that assessment, but
I
plays
think
full, kicks
He's
goals.
a fat plotter.
Yeah.
Listen, you
Hey,
can't
hey.
play midfield and be fat. I mean, it's not possible.
Luke Hodge.
He's a poor man's poor man. Like,
He's
No
a
one
poor man's
fucking
Lenny
liked him.
Hayes.
He actually reminds me of a poor man's Joe Watson if you take out the Brownlow years where he was on drugs.
Yeah, don't say it. I'm not trying to be biased either. You got to contest a midfielder that can kick the ball 60 metres and play in the forward line.
Yeah, great, he can kick the ball 60 metres, but if you don't get any kicks, what good is it? Trent McKenzie can kick the ball a long way. Daniel Rich.
Yeah, but that's Trent McKenzie. I mean, who the fuck's Trent McKenzie? You could have made that name up. I don't even know who Trent McKenzie is.
He's the cannon.
Oh, yeah, I vaguely remember. Well, hang on, let me look at Zeebel's numbers. I need to see how shit he was. Yeah, 24 touches and then 5 tackles.
Ineffectual, Rockcliffe-esque.
No, he's no. Rockcliffe is like
Rockcliffe-esque.
Bowden sort
He
of
was
stat
crap.
merchant.
He's fair dinkum
He doesn't
crap.
go out the side or get little cheapy ones.
He must have
That's-
if he
no,
racked
no,
up
no.
24 because he clearly
I'll
wasn't
give you,
doing anything.
I will give you that he doesn't get the ball
as much as he should as a midfielder, but he's
I
not a
would
stat.
just say he just doesn't damage as much as he should. That was the thing. He just doesn't. How often does he take the game by a scruff of neck? Occasionally, once a year, he might 20-3, and then they'll go, "Oh, how good Zeeble?" But then in the in between, he's just
He's a fat plotter.
You think his year's has been average?
Yeah. Like I can't think of a game where they've gone, "Geez, Zeeble played well." But then I haven't watched all your games, but I reckon I've watched seen enough of 6 of them, and I can't think of one where I've gone, "Yeah, Zeeble's played a pretty good game."
See, 5 goals, 24 disposals.
You could have drafted Steele sideboard him, or Phil Davis.
Yeah,
Liam Shields. He's always a perennial Brownlow
he's
favourite.
part of the Jack Watts draft. Okay, let's have a look. Stephen Hill, Hamish Hartlett. Yeah. Michael Hurley's a good player.
You could have gotten Beers Hanbury.
Hurley went before that.
Christopher Yaron, Daniel Tyrone Vickery. Oh, Hawthorne got lucky getting him. And then there's Jack Zeeble. And I mean, come on, you're a bit harsh.
It doesn't matter where he got drafted. It's about what he does now, and it's like for a captain,
he is a poor man's Liam Shields. So
yeah,
I mean,
Is there a specific reason why we're going after Zeeble? We've never gone after Zeeble.
He's the captain of your club. He's expected to be like an on-field leader, take a club and drag him over the line.
Has he been woeful this year? Guy averages 24 disposals. He's
been nondescript.
He's not setting the world on fire, but he's going okay.
Nondescript's a good way of putting it. Like, I've never pondered the question of Jack Zeeble until actually he was playing against Richmond. I've gone, hang on, when was the last time Zeeble played a good game? And I'm like, I can't recall one from this year.
That's not what you want from your captain. You need a truly inspiring leader. You need a Luke Hodge or a Kane Williamson, just an inspirational leader.
You don't want another Andrew Swallow.
He's a better captain than Trent Codger can do that.
He's no Jaron Geary, that's for sure.
And that is Brownlow medalist Trent Cotchin to you, who Luke Darcy, in one of his few...
If he had any morals or self-respect, he would knock on Joe Watson's door and hand his false Brownlow to Joe.
Dan, if Essendon had any fucking morals, they'd give him my $80. Still waiting on that $80.
That's Brownlow medalist Trent Cotchin, and as Luke Darcy, flogged that he is, happened to say, it has a nice ring to it.
It does. It suits his hair.
I think Dan, like the terrorist, is getting off too lightly for that last comment. In no way should Trent Cotchin have to hand his fucking Brownlow back to Joe Watson.
I think
Trent Cotchin never injected performance-enhancing drugs.
I'm not saying he did, but he never won a Brownlow either.
Right, he did, because he got the most votes as an eligible player.
It's best and fairest.
He won the Brownlow fair and square, as did Sam Mitchell. So I will not hear otherwise.
No, and Sam Mitchell can give his to Job. So Job can be a 2-time Brownlow medalist. He can have 2 Brownlow medals. How about that?
Dan, if you believe that, then you're just a Kool-Aid chugger.
No. This isn't really got nothing to do with Joe Watson. This is about 2 guys that didn't win the Brownlow. But now have Brownlow medals.
So does Chris Grant
get a Brownlow? When did we invite Jade on the podcast?
Well, where's Corey McKernan's Brownlow medal? Where's his Brownlow medal?
Well, he was suspended.
Are you forgetting the fairest part of this whole best and fairest?
He was suspended. That's why Corey McKernan doesn't have one. Chris Grant doesn't have
Joe
one. Joe
Watson, at the time of winning his Brownlow medal, at the time was the best and the fairest.
And then he was found to not be the fairest.
I agree. I agree with Dan. Lance Armstrong deserves his Tour de France's.
Oh, no, don't.
Ben Johnson deserves that gold medal. Yeah.
How are they different, Dan?
Those people were blatant cheats. They took steroids. No, this isn't not far from checkmate. They have 2 pieces left on the board. I haven't lost any pieces.
He must be
left.
The only Northie to ever chug Essendon Kool-Aid.
This has got nothing to do with Joe Watson anyways.
Yes, it does. Because you're suggesting that the other 2 didn't deserve it because Joe Watson got the most votes.
Jack Zeeble is a good player and a good captain.
No, just the thought of
hide and seek.
He's defending Joe Watson because
Zeeble's
the
thought of fucking Cotchin having a Brownlow has head fucked him so much that he's gone into bat for Essendon and Job,
and he doesn't even realise.
That's a stretch. That's a huge.
It's not a huge stretch. It's literally where you've taken this.
No, I got nothing against Trent Cotchin. I don't care if he legitimately won a Brownlow, but he didn't legitimately win a Brownlow. He came second. The way it is.
Let's move on. We did discuss Essendon, so we'll go to GWS have gone to the top after beating Essendon, and they toyed with them, I guess is the best way to put this.
Essendon had a few chances, so Could have easily gone either way.
The most notable thing out of this game happened at halftime with Brendan Goddard's return to the rooms.
Oh, the dummy spin. I saw
A
that.
300-game career summed up perfectly in a single moment.
I mean, the people at Essendon, the ladies and gentlemen working behind the scenes of the club, they're not earning the millions of dollars, but they're doing it for the heart and the love. And some angry ranger just comes in and just ruins everything.
Yeah. Why would you knock over the pretzels like that?
Pretzels?
What were they?
Probably jelly beans.
Oh, they look like pretzels from the TV.
Pretzels? Do you think AFL footballers eat pretzels at halftime?
Well, well, it's not a stretch. I mean,
Paddy McCartney,
if they need to eat carbohydrates and some salt, then maybe there are pretzels.
Salt
I
in the
don't know.
Gatorade.
Oh, salt dehydrates you. You can't eat fucking salty things.
Listen, I'm just saying what I thought I saw. It doesn't necessarily mean there were pretzels
And
there.
here come the pretzels.
Well, they had a sort of like a brownish, goldish sort of tinge to them. And the way they all splattered across the room went after...
Okay, Dan, they were
Goddard
pretzels.
whacked them. I'm just saying what I thought they looked like, that's all.
Look, it was a typical Brendan Goddard moment, though, wasn't it? The only way it could have been better is if someone called him out for it and then he pointed to the floor or something. That would have been perfect, but...
Oh, did you see a fucking Nick Rewalt in like the lead up to the game? There was like a clip of Nick Rewalt saying, "I've been on the end of a few BJ sprays." It's like, surely you could have chosen your words a bit better there.
They call that a Freudian slip. But to be fair, I don't think he's been on the end of him. He's usually someone else on the end of his, isn't it?
Well, maybe BJ pulls rank. It's like Armitage to Rewalt to Goddard.
The human centipede.
Oh.
Oh.
I don't actually have much else on this game.
If I'm a staff member in that change rooms, I would have gone up to Brendan and gone, "Are you going to clean that up?" Because we're not.
You'd have got a BJ spray, Dan.
No, I don't think so. I would have stood my ground. Listen here, you aging, balding, wanker, non-premiership winning tosser. You're gonna pick those up? Pick them up. Don't care if you're angry. Pick 'em
Did
up.
anyone see the cap they made for him? And it had #1 draft pick on the side of it amongst his accolades. Is being drafted #1 really an accolade? Like, that just puts you in the same class as Jack Watts and fucking Tom Boyd, except without the premiership medal in Boyd's case.
Yeah, but particularly because you didn't have to fucking do anything to be picked at 1.
No, like you were literally at 18. You were most potential. That's the award.
Not to mention him and his parents were crying they couldn't go to Carlton at that time as well.
Yes, that's right. 2 days before the draft.
He's always loved Carlton. We've always loved it. It's just so tragic. Shut the fuck up.
Well, to be fair, would you want your son raised in the St Kilda culture?
Not a parent. Don't have to answer that question.
Anything else out of that game?
Toby Green, Mr. 20 and 3, doing it again.
Josh Kelly is very, very good at football.
Yes.
That's future St Kilda player Josh Kelly. It's going to be brilliant.
Future
next year.
North Melbourne
Oh,
superstar
you just
Josh
put the
Kelly.
moz on him, Cookie. He's going to North now.
Going to North.
Oh, fuck.
Kiss of death.
He's obviously going to Hawthorn in the pre-season draft for free.
Let's go to the final game, which was, well, Hawthorn took until the second half to kick a goal. So is this rock bottom penal?
Well, I think given that the umpires pretty much walked most of our goals in for us, yeah, it's we did well to fight back and win the second half, but that was mostly because Port just kicked points.
Hawthorn
whole
lost
time.
that game the first quarter. Even if they had the security guards as their teammates on the ground as extra help, they still would have lost.
We literally had fucking 23 players on the field, like our 18, the 4 umpires, and then 2 security guards. So we had it was 24 versus 18, and we still fucking couldn't kick a goal in the first half.
I found this game to be quite gooey and therapeutic, so I did enjoy this quite a lot.
I think everybody enjoyed
Well,
this. It was a
well,
lovely game.
But although I will say that Channel 7's fucking covfefe of this game was horrible, because the whole night they were gooing about fucking Port Adelaide being genuine premiership contenders because they went to 4th place or something, and they were gonna I went and looked at their fixture after the game, and they haven't beaten anyone. like the highest ranked team they've beaten is Fremantle, and pretty much everyone agrees that they're a fraud side. And other than that, they've just beat up on Carlton, Brisbane and the Suns, and now Hawthorn. I mean, we're crap. Everyone they've beaten is crap.
Well, still enough to put them above West Coast.
But even then, they lost to West Coast. They've failed every test that's been thrown at them, and the fucking goo on Thursday night was unbearable. And fucking Charlie Dixon, yeah, okay, good on him. He kicked a couple goals to fucking save himself from the embarrassment of looking like a retard the previous week. But they're talking like he's a second coming of Carey or something.
No, he needs more. He needs more red wines and bashing women with glasses to get to Carey stage yet.
But no, nothing else out of that game?
You tagged me in something and said Brad Ebert got chaired off. Is that true?
Yeah, that was the actual fact. He was chaired off the ground.
That's not right. That's just so not right.
If Brad Everett gets chaired off, the terrorists win.
I know I overdo it with this, but really, when it all comes down to it, why should average players get the same treatment as the great players?
Hey, Brad Ebert led the Brownlow after 2 rounds once upon a time. Remember?
I don't care. The guy called Matt Prittis that won fucking Brownlow. And that's not right.
That's Brownlow medalist Matt Prittis. He's a star.
It's the average players that make your club great. They're the heart and soul of your club, and it's your depth of Lindsay premierships.
The best players of the competition.
Why does it matter to you, Dan? They're not cheering you off.
It's about fairness and what's right. Yeah, those sort of things, the guards of honour and things like that, should be for the top % of players in the competition. Not a participation award like you would get when you play basketball or footy and everyone won.
So by that logic, you're saying that Jack Zeeble should never be chaired off after a milestone game?
If he was to retire right now, no.
No, there's a very clear difference between someone like Brad Ebert, who's been an above-average player, playing for most of his career in a crap side and sticking it out and doing the hard yards, and someone like Andrew Mackie, who just gets carried by better players around him. I think the Eberts of your club are what make them great.
Well, Andrew Mackie getting chaired off, that just sums up his career, doesn't it? If he's getting carried off the ground the same way he gets carried on it.
Carried on and indeed carried all around the ground.
If anything, they should give him a lap of honour on their shoulders for Andrew Mackie, just to all 4 corners of the ground being carried. Right up to the premiership dais, really.
What was the significance of it? Was it like 200 games, 300 games?
200 games, so he's in the Anthony Rocker conversation.
Not even that. That's just not even... It's not right.
So you're a no to Brad Ebert?
Yeah, definitely no. He's just an average good midfielder. There's nothing special about him. You know what the AFL should do, all right? If it looks like the players are trying to chair a guy off, the umpires should get involved and tell him to get him down
and torture them.
Get him down, or no, not torture. No, we will erase the scoreboard, and you'll be on 0 if you keep carrying him off the ground. It should be an AFL initiative that's directed to the umpires, and they control.
Such a killjoy, Dan.
Lose a goal off your score for every 5 metres you carry him.
Yes, not right. We shouldn't be celebrating averageness.
I hope that Brad Ebert doesn't have a big footy account like Favola did, because he'll be shattered to see what Dan's got to say about him, and with that we'll move to the talking points. Brendan Favola has admitted to reading big footy after a bad game, and apparently it got him down. Well, what did you expect, Fair?
Oh, well, Chief, you've got blood on your hands. You've ruined this man's life.
Favola really could have used the black or the white thread at that given moment.
It's like the Matrix. It's like the red or the blue pill. Fev's got the choice of the black and the white thread. It's like, how deep does the rabbit hole go? Into the black thread for Fev. Oh, shit.
You think he listens to the podcast?
Oh, well, who knows?
Well, we know Big Boy McAvoy does.
Brendan, when in 08, when you played against Hawthorn, I ran on the ground when Buddy kicked the goal. No, when he kicked that 100 goal, and when it looked like you were going to kick that 100 goal, I wanted to get on the ground again, but we couldn't because you let us down. I've always considered you a massive disappointment since then, and that will never change.
It's because Clarko flooded the back line.
Put Ruff in the hole.
That is so sour.
The game
That
was
is
over.
so
good.
No,
No, I
it's
love it.
funny
I
because
love
it was
it. I love
Carlton.
it.
It's a great troll.
Yeah, I love
It's
it.
the saltiest
Game
thing
was
ever.
already won, and he denied that man history. That is so
No.
sad.
That is literally small man syndrome. What happened?
Yeah, but it's because it was calm. It was funny.
You know what? You know how people just don't forget things like that? Like, we're talking about it now, and that happened like nearly 10 years ago. It's going to stay with him for the rest of his coaching career. People are going to keep this shit.
Yeah,
They're
that's
not
what
gonna
that's what
remember
that's
the
what people are
flags.
going to remember. They're not going to remember the 4 flags or the angry midget punching holes in the walls or trading Mitchell and Lewis. They're going to remember what he did.
I'm not
with Steph.
saying they're not going to not remember those things. You're in a real floggish sort of mood tonight.
You tell them.
You just settle down and host a podcast, yeah? Know your role.
Are you saying I'm a role player?
Well, you can do this by yourself, and you can see how far you can get.
Okay. All right. So do I get
The
chaired
Star-
off? Do I get chaired off in my last
The
episode?
Starburns podcast, let's all listen to that. Just you
You could-
talking about
you could be
the base
cheered
arena.
The Lollipop
Yeah.
Guild could cheer
Well,
you off.
if it's just you, how are
Well,
you going to cheer yourself off? If it's just going to be you.
No, because we had the question. Was it last week? What player is your podcasting style?
Not
Yeah,
you.
so just determine if that player is worthy of a cheering off.
What's Caleb Daniel? I think that's what I ended up with.
He's not quite cheering off territory yet.
I think I'm the only. If there was ever anyone that was going to be cheered off, it would be me. The rest of you, I'm not sure.
It's becoming more and more like Teach by the week. But yeah, Cookie had a question that went with Bev reading Big Footy, and we might ask it now.
Yeah, what would various AFL personalities' reactions be if they listened to this vlogcast?
I don't want to live anymore.
I hope Lumumba ever listened to us. I'm just trying to think who actually might listen to us and enjoy it. Probably like, I don't know, Rory Sloane maybe.
Imagine Pendlebury if he listened to it.
Maynard.
Pendlebury probably did the disappearing act at last year's BNF because he knew it was coming.
I hope Liam Shields never listens to this podcast because I think I'll have a restraining order taken out against me.
What about Stratosphere?
And-
You've incriminated him.
Ryan Burton's probably heading in that direction as well.
I hope no players listen to me when I curse them. That would be pretty good.
I hope they all listen to me when I bag the shit out of players. You can all get stuck.
Especially the ones who got chaired off.
Well, I'm not really bagging them per se. I'm just saying they
You're
don't.
saying they don't deserve it.
Well, compared to the great players, no, they don't. I mean, there's nothing wrong with saying that. That's just fair.
You're not a nice man, Dan. Anything else on Fev reading Big Footy?
Stop reading it. It's
There was some
Good for
good
you, son.
investigative journalism going on in that thread to uncover a certain current listed player.
Sharrod Wellingham.
How do you know it's him?
The same birth date for starters.
The same birth date on the account. The username is like
Darrow.
Sharrod backwards, or like the last 5 letters backwards.
Dora.
And
Yeah.
it's got 30 odd posts, all of which are about Sharrod Wellingham. So either if it's not him, it's immediate family or friends. Like,
Yeah.
it's got to be.
They haven't logged in since
Well,
2011, which is probably
coincidence.
roughly when Wellingham got traded.
You know, Kim Il-sung had an account on Big Footy, and I think his date of birth was the same as the real Kim Il-sung. Is it the same person?
Did he
Could be.
post only about him?
I don't know what he posted about.
You
I'm
need,
just
need
trying
to
to.
do some. You need to do some digging then.
Oh, okay.
Because this guy popped up when he was in at the under 18 level and about to be drafted, talking about how great a player he was at the under 18 level. So that's why it could be like a family or friend thing, but it's got to be.
I think it's him. I really do. It's got to be him. The facts are undeniable.
Shut up. Let's move on to Jared Harbrow's a good bloke.
Oh, yes, he is a good bloke, and his family and friends are the ones that know him best, and that the people that don't know him, are entitled to their opinion, and now he just has to work hard to win back the trust of his teammates, and he'll be back bigger and better than ever. Is that what he said, more or less?
I don't know what he said. I think he only got arrested.
He will say something on the lines of what I just said.
You're an AFL footballer, order a fucking Uber. You have the money.
But if he's a good bloke, he's allowed to drive. That's
But
the
he's
rules,
not a
isn't
good
it?
bloke. Like,
Is he in the leadership? I read something about him being in the leadership group at the Gold Coast.
Probably. It's the Gold Coast.
Yeah, that shithead's probably going to get a cheering off as well when he retires.
So much for them, like, eradicating their culture problem.
Well, they tried to trade O'Meara out, but that wasn't enough.
I was thinking more Dixon, but okay. O'Meara's a model citizen.
Model citizen?
Like, I'm pretty sure he'd be one of the only players in the league with no dirt on him whatsoever.
Yeah, except he gave up his legs, his kneecaps for a cup of coffee. I don't think that was a good trade on his behalf, but anyway.
I think it was a brilliant trade on St Kilda's behalf.
Oh, no, but you're going to have to give up Billings for a third rounder, apparently. Isn't that how it
Is that
works?
what the North board's saying?
No, that's what the Hawthorn board's saying.
Oh, ugh.
Yeah, apparently
Again,
the second
that's-
half of that deal that hasn't been done yet involves Billings to Hawthorn for nothing. Is that right, Penal?
Yep, you know it.
Good luck, Hawthorn.
Well, they need to fucking make cap room for Rockcliffe. Billings is going to have to be sacrificed.
We have like 1.7 million free. I think we've got enough for Rockcliffe.
Anything else on Jared Highbrow?
Don't drink and drive.
No, bad.
Bad boy.
It's enough to make you want to castrate him. And
See, that's just silly. Why would you? I'm not saying do that to AFL players, you moron. That's dumb. Come on.
he could have killed people.
He's not a terrorist. He was just caught drinking driving. Jesus.
Speaking of driving, Stevie J's car getting nicked with the golf clubs in the back. Do we have anything on that?
What's his golf
Surely
clubs
you can afford
covered?
something nicer than a Ford Falcon. Like, I mean, fucking, I know you're from Geelong originally, but you don't have to take that commitment to the extreme.
God,
Get a fucking
take it
Ford.
to Sydney with you.
Maybe the golf clubs are worth more than the car itself. Probably are. I heard that was what his main concern was his clubs, not the car.
No, honestly, I don't have anything much out of this. Let's move on to last of the talking points. Robbo and Fasolo. Look, it was a bit odd to see Fasolo back after 2 days, but geez, Robbo, gotta be smarter than that.
Yeah, it was a very sort of flippant sort of response, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was ill-considered is a generous way of putting it.
Shame on you, Robbo.
Like, we've all said things when we've been drunk that we've regretted.
I
Regrettable
haven't.
things
I
whilst
haven't.
we've been drunk.
Never.
Never?
Never. Never.
Never
No,
ever?
you generally say stupid things when you're sober that you regret.
What is that his excuse, was it? That he was drunk?
Nah, that's just the excuse I'm making. Well, he was clearly probably shit-faced. He sent it at 11 a.m.
Oh, yeah, well, I don't know. Shame on you, Robbo. The guy's gloom and depressed and you're making fun of him.
Just, yeah, I mean, it was a bit,
I'd expect that sort
I
of
wonder
shit from
what's
Dan.
happened here, but you need to
No, I wouldn't make
actual
fun of
and
someone's
aggressive.
depression. It's just not right. Come on.
For somebody whose job is with words, it was just so...
Are you
poor.
still here? You haven't said anything
Yeah, I
in an
know.
hour.
I was waiting for Morgs to chime in on Robbo and Fasol. It's the only reason I brought it up.
Yeah, I thought it was just awful. The fact that he once again made a drug implication directed at Collingwood was ridiculous.
Oh, shit.
Get over it, Robbo.
Well, that's a long bow to draw, but
Why?
not that I agree with what Robbo said, but
He commented and said amazing drugs that we have that have cured his depression. Get out, Robbo. You're a pig.
Yeah.
Does
Robbo's
Robbo
been
go in the
sent
black
to the
thread?
black.
Robbo is not even welcome on the Collingwood board. At least that's one thing they can agree on over there.
He should be castrated and just flung over like wherever Keeler or wherever the fuck he came from.
Hey, he just said something stupid on Twitter. What is it with these people wanting to castrate these?
What is it with
football
you?
identities? Hey, I'm for getting the terrorists, not bloody football personalities. You people are sick.
We're sick.
I guess if this whole sorry affair has a silver lining, it's that obviously this coupled with the Tom Downey retirement a couple weeks ago has got to start getting a few people talking about mental health in football. You know, Gill's put out a statement, which is good to see the issue being addressed. I know there's a lot of it probably bubbling away under the surface and not really talked about, so it's good to see it getting some attention, although it would be nicer if it were done in a more tactful way. But yeah, I guess the support for Solo has been good to see from non-idiot journos.
Question time, I think. Ilksy wants to know on a scale of 1 to Essendon how brave was Goldsack playing with one arm?
Essendon level braveness.
Yeah, sure. Brave is brave.
Absolutely.
So brave.
Top of the scale. Off the scale.
Yeah.
Above the
Hilksy,
scale.
why did you have to say the B word?
Because he was brave. Don't be afraid of bravery. That's not very brave.
He was.
I guess Morgs isn't going to give us an answer on the
No.
scale. No.
Matrox.
Epic bravery.
K4E wants to
Brave
know,
dog.
with St Kilda seemingly out of the race for Kelly and 5, how long should the Dwarf Tossers sign Rockcliffe up for?
7
Zero-
years.
I was going to say 9 years.
0 years, $0, 0 cents, and just, you know...
0 cents is what you're going to display when you give him a nice
And
fat
one
contract.
castration. He can get his dick cut off.
What? Oh, God.
You started this
I
shit.
know,
Well,
and I regret saying it now.
No, this I can endorse because at least it would lead the fucking 3 out of 10s of Brisbane feeling a lot safer.
He doesn't get much penetration anyway.
Give him a 9-year deal with a option to coaching afterwards at St Kilda. $1 million a year.
How about we don't do that, and we just pretend Rockcliffe doesn't exist?
Or let's just cut off his dick like you mentioned earlier.
That's got to be his contract. He wants to play for St Kilda, dick gets cut off. We cannot
Look,
risk the scandals.
It's. I know you're upset about the fact that you're trading Billings away for nothing to make room for him, but sacrifices must be made.
That would almost be a prerequisite for getting signed at St Kilda. That's why you got no father sons.
We
mate.
get a surprisingly high amount of daughters. Every Essendon supporter begging for a Goddard father and son, they're going to be disappointed in about 20 years' time.
BJ just sprays.
But yet,
them.
no Rockcliffe. He can be told to fuck off. You stay in your hillbilly Queensland country, and we'll go out and get Josh Kelly. I want me some jelly.
You sound jelly.
You
not.
jelly of
Why?
the fact that we're about to bend you over at the trade table for Billings. So jelly.
You're gonna get Rockcliffe. Jelly of all the other clubs making big signs.
If St Kilda signed Rockcliffe, I'll sing a song on this podcast of anyone's choice.
Ooh. Next question. Ilksy wants to know, has there been a more embarrassing display from a team board than the shit fight currently happening on the Pies board?
Oh, the black and white. Oh, yeah. That's...
Look, the
Absolutely
entire
not.
Essendon board for a while there. The Geelong board for the last couple of years. But for a single moment, I think this is peak.
This is peak level of idiocy. And it's brilliant.
Are the two threads still open?
No.
No, because then
Oh, I was going to go and have a look. No.
you can go read through and like the posts.
I can still
but
go.
Make
I can
sure you
still
go
read
to
through it, I
make sure you go to
suppose.
the white thread because that's the shorter of the two, and you won't have to read as
Okay.
much. And that's one Morgs did all their work in.
I hope I get votes this week for my work on the Collingwood board.
But no, anything more embarrassing? Nothing.
No.
No, I don't think so.
I can.
I
think
mean,
of,
the fucking Adelaide board Tippett thread was pretty good back in the day.
the Critters
but
thread on the West Coast board. I can think of ballpark things, but this is something else. Especially for what happened afterwards. Just the entire
No,
package.
No lurking likers on the Carlton board.
I mean, to get the mods to fucking stop watching the game and devote the game day to fucking moving posts between threads, it's got to be pretty good.
Alright.
It's still funny.
This week on the day, thread of the week.
My
well,
thread of the week, obviously.
Got to be that, doesn't it?
Obviously, the white thread.
I
Bayuta advocate.
Yep, Baytuda Advocate. That was what I was going to nominate before the Collingwood board thread came up. Quality from Benoit, quality contributions, seriously high quality stuff in there.
The anti-castration, really.
You're starting to sound like George R. R. Martin. You've got a fascination with chopped off dicks.
It was, his idea. Fucking shit.
Hey, it was an idea that I mentioned once for the most disgusting, horrible people on the planet, and you've got someone else wanting to do it
Carlton
for
supporters.
AFL personalities and players. You people are in the wrong. You guys are weird.
Any honourables?
Why doesn't your piece of shit team learn the rules a bit better?
I liked Hodgepodge's leadership spill call for Bay positions.
It does have a ring of Juritz's Josh the Mod from
Yeah, it does.
But
Yep.
it's still, that was always a goodie.
I guess, yeah, more team board shit, but the not quite on the level of the Collingwood board, but the Hawkins thread on the Geelong board this week was pretty good. Like, it's fucking gone mental in there be when fucking Stabby McGee is looking like the voice of reason.
Megastructures, Brendan Goddard's hat, Engineering Megastructures, I think it was called. That one wasn't bad. Actually, can I give it an honourable mention at the Dan's? Batman and Robin is better than Motch and...
And you know it makes sense. Oh, it got locked. Oh,
Crimson Law and Dangerwood.
Oh, that's
got
not right.
locked.
Why would you lock that thread? Can you unlock it? Unlock it for me, will you?
Well, I posted it to try and lend it some legitimacy, but clearly I
Super mod Starburns, you can unlock it, can't you? Yes, you can. You can bring people back from the dead. Come on, unlock it.
Well, actually, I can't do that.
Yes, you can.
Only Bushy can do that.
Only Bushy.
Bring people back from the dead.
Did you see the fuck, marry, kill club thread?
Yeah.
It was only up for like half an hour, but I liked it a lot.
But I think it's between Batuta and Collingwood board, so where are we going?
Collingwood board.
Collingwood board.
Collingwood board, yeah.
And there it is. Flog of the week.
So, yeah,
Sports Maniac, whatever the fuck his last two digits are.
See, I was going to go the Collingwood board at Flog of the Week time for just everyone who took those threads seriously. So basically everyone except Morgs. If you were in there and you were engaging in that exercise and believing it was a good idea and not trolling the fuck out of it, you are the loser. You are the Flog of the Week.
Or consequently believing it was a bad idea and melting over it for the last 2
Well,
days.
that too. But that's just taking it seriously, isn't it? And if you were engaged in moving the posts and behind the idea, then you get a nom too. You get a nom. You get a nom. Everybody gets
The
a
whole
nom.
board gets a nom. But seriously, anyone who listens to this podcast, go and have a read. It's hilarious.
Especially all those Collingwood players who listen in,
fact
like
that
Scott
on-
Pendlebury. Go have a listen.
The fact that on the first page they give up the rights to the thread to me. Yeah, you idiots. Oh, so funny.
Yeah, those poor players when they go in and read the black thread after the game.
Okay, do we have anybody else?
Still Sports Maniac 89.
Dr.
Yeah,
Giroux,
all-
as usual.
All the current terrorists in the world can be my flog of the week. How about that?
Fuck
Your time will
ISIS,
come.
we're coming for you.
Yes.
We have Dan on our side.
We find them and we fuck them up. That's the way to go.
Okay, so Collingwood board or Sports Maniac or
ISIS. God, they don't listen to us. They're not going to attack us. Come on.
If they're coming for anyone, they're coming for the people who are fucking telling everyone they're going to fucking rip them apart. Thanks, Dan.
cut
Fuck
their balls off.
You've just got us all signed all our death warrants, you fuck.
Next North home game, they'll be wondering that Eddie had like Morgs and NL looking for Dan.
If somebody
would have
goes
all-
to me, if somebody
you
looking
would have all
sus goes,
died for
"Where's
a no-
Dan?"
For a noble cause.
You
Where
gotta,
is
you
Dan?
alone.
We want to know where this man is.
Dan, you've got to harm North's attendances, and they're already quite low.
Anybody else got anything?
They end up getting on the PA, making an announcement at the game. Where is Dan? We will kill him.
Fucking, yeah, Giroux's always good for a dishonourable, but probably fucking Dan wins.
How original. Let's write Dan for Flop of the Week, yeah? Like every other week. It's unwarranted. I'm trying to create world peace here, and you guys are sitting down all over me.
No,
Right.
It's only Penal who's nominated you, Dan. You get angry.
Yeah, and everyone else will jump on in.
If you didn't get so fucking salty about it, no.
Yes, I'm salty and I'm upset, and you should nominate me for Flog of the... Are you testing the coin, Cookson? Did you just toss the coin on the table? Get the
didn't.
coin ready?
no, but
Well,
ready.
he wants to work out who to vote for the week.
So do we really want to give it to Dan?
Collingwood board,
No,
obviously.
Collingwood fucking board.
Oh, God. Collingwood.
Last week's poll, the Traeger Park tree, 16.7% are with Dan and said cut it down. 16.7% said Jack Watts prefers background breastfeeding over baby formula, and an overwhelming 66.7% said love it. So bad luck, Dan. It stays.
Bullshit. It's just an anti-poll. No one's siding with the tree. They're just
If
siding
you cut it
against
down, you're a terrorist, and we'll cut off your ball.
You're a terrorist in nature, Dan.
Eco-terrorist. Next week's games. Cooksy, what do we got?
We have got ourselves a nice Spanish 5
Peso.
PTAS coin.
What's on it?
It has got the Spanish royal symbol, as you can see on their flag.
I can't
And
see shit, mate. I can't see the coin.
Let's just Google their flag then. And the head of...
I think you should do this
Carlos
with your
I.
camera turned on, like Sue's.
No, fuck.
No, it just means Starburns were cheating him like he did a couple of weeks ago.
Oh,
He legitimately got that, I shit you not.
Yes, we know.
I'm an honest person. I'm honest.
Bullshit.
Oh, that's
I'm
just...
so salty, Dan. Just,
So salty. Yeah, I'm so salty.
yeah,
Yeah,
you
Nice.
are. You fucking are.
yeah, of course I am. Yeah.
Spanish guy to Spanish head
I
to be
disagree with Dan.
heads.
Oh, you're salty. If I was a packet of chips, I'd be salting vinegar. Would that be right?
Coin has tipped Sydney.
I haven't even Googled the coin yet. I wanted to see what it looked
Oh,
like.
bad luck.
Alright, fair enough.
Grayson killed her.
Oh, fucking this is going to need the lube.
Well, not if you forgot to put the jinx on the kiss of death on Rory this week. Cookie, you apologise. Now he's going to be good again.
Adelaide, by a convincing margin.
Hawthorn versus the Gold Coast. We all know how this went last time.
Gold Coast.
Yeah, not surprising. Brian's Freo.
It's gone Brian's.
Essendon Port.
We have got ourselves Port.
GWS Reserves versus GWS.
Shit. We have got GWS Reserve.
GWS Reserves. And finally, Queen's Birthday, Melbourne versus Collingwood.
We have got Collingwood.
Alright. Any last words on any of those games?
Are you sure the coin had a proper warm-up? Because it sounded like a couple of times you fluffed it.
Yeah, you
God.
should have tested the coin thoroughly beforehand.
It hit the fucking edge of my computer screen.
What are you doing, flipping it on the edge of your computer screen?
Ah,
The
shut
base
up.
of it. The base is big.
Anything to add?
We're gonna need fucking lube in our game. And a metric fuck ton of it.
Well, if Melbourne can beat Adelaide at Adelaide, well, why can't St Kilda?
Because we're shit.
I think the Bryans could actually beat Fremantle.
I actually don't give a shit about Brisbane Lions and Fremantle.
Fremantle is shit enough to drop this.
It'll be due to hometown umpiring, at least if you believe Sports Maniac.
If there was ever a game that didn't matter, this
Oh,
is it.
yeah, this is the ultimate game that doesn't matter.
We don't have to talk about it next week. Sydney can't beat the Western Bulldogs, so they're going to get smashed.
Yeah, I don't have much out of this. I would really love it if Hawthorn got smacked again, though.
Oh, I'll love that as well.
Well, considering we only seem to try every second week now, I think we're due for a good game. I hope.
I reckon that's it, is it?
Yeah, I've got to go. I've got to make some phone calls to the Prime Minister and the President.
Dan's got a Skype call with the United Nations waiting.
Geneva Convention? Nah, fuck that shit.
I never went to the Geneva Convention.
Hey, Mr. Prime Minister. Andy.
Hey lads, what's the good word?
Seriously, you sound like some fucking nut job, Dan. If they blow shit up, let's catch them and cut their dicks off.
These are terrorists. These are people that you don't give the rights to. Well, they don't deserve rights.
I don't disagree about, you know...
Then why are you saying I'm a nut job if you're disagreeing with the sentiments that I'm saying?
I don't think you cut their dicks off.
No, okay, listen. I don't mean cut their dicks off per se. I'm saying torture them.
Yeah,
That might mean
that's not much
that
better.
might mean leading to that, but it could mean other things as well.
I'm not nuts.
It was you and Cookson that kept going on about the castration shit and cutting off.
Because you mentioned it once, you said Theon
2 weeks
Greyjoy.
ago, Morgan
You said Theon Greyjoy.
mentioned about Caitlin Jenner cutting her dick off.
Oh, not
People that are upset.
Not this shit again. Oh, fuck.
Dan, why are you so obsessed with dicks being cut off?
Oh my god. You people are just odd. You guys are obsessed. I say one and you guys
We're
multiply
obsessed.
it by 1,000. By
I
1,000.
don't just stop, please.
No, I
Yeah.
don't think any of us have ever talked about someone's dick being cut off.
I mention it once and it gets multiplied 1,000 times by you, by Starburns. Like, apparently I said Trackhord and it gets mentioned every week. And I didn't even say it to begin
I don't
with.
think we've mentioned Trackord in like 3 weeks.
No, you mention it every week.
No,
Maybe
it's for the
first
we definitely didn't mention it today, but you can bet it's getting brought up next week.
I don't think we even mentioned it last week either. I reckon we mentioned it for a couple of weeks after he said it, and then we sort of forgot about it. We found the newest thing.
You amplify things. You guys are just weird.
And the newest of the new is Dick's being cut off.
That's on you guys. That's not me.
You were the one who mentioned
guys-
Theon Grey. You were the one who mentioned Theon Greyjoy.
You are the one
Right,
that has
and-
the track record of talking about Dick being cut off.
I'm shaking my head. This is just wrong. You people are weird. I'm going to ask for a trade to the main board podcast. I think I've done this for
What about
4 or 5
What
years.
about the SRP podcast?
Therefore, I'm probably eligible for free agency. I can just go over there whenever I want.
No.
Join Wooksy.
You're not eligible for free agency because you don't have a gold podcast badge.
Time to wrap it up, I think. Alright, so this was the Flogcast for round 12. Starburns joined by Cookson,
Goodbye, all.
Morgs,
Hello, Floggers. White thread.
Penal,
Looks like Tarzan plays like Kane.
and Dan.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.